Does your back ache just at the thought of weeding? Do your knees groan remembering hours spent hunched over garden beds? What if I told you that your garden doesn't have to be a chore, but a relaxing retreat that yields both bounty and joy? Today, we're going to explore 7 brilliantly simple ways to make your garden beds as comfortable and efficient as possible. And I promise, some of these ideas will make you look at your plot in a whole new light. Recall the classic image: endless potato fields or interminable rows of garden beds requiring hours of back-breaking weeding. This picture is deeply ingrained in our minds. For many generations, the garden was synonymous with arduous physical labour. But times are changing. Modern gardening isn't about exhaustion, it's about a smart approach. It's about creating a system that saves your energy and time, rather than draining them. So, let's start building the garden of your dreams. Let's dive into the most important tip. The #1 method that will truly revolutionise your approach to gardening is using the right height. Say goodbye to hours spent hunched over. We're talking about tall, or as they're more commonly known, raised garden beds. So, what exactly are they? It's brilliantly simple. Essentially, it's a frame or an enclosure you set directly on the ground and fill with rich, fertile soil. The height can vary anywhere from just 8 inches to waist height, or even taller. Imagine having your own personal garden table that you don't have to constantly bend over to reach. The primary benefit, of course, is your health and comfort. When working with a raised bed, you'll barely need to bend your back. Planting, weeding, and harvesting all become significantly easier. Your knees and lower back will thank you for it. This isn't just an ideal solution for older gardeners. It's perfect for anyone who wants to save their energy for enjoying their outdoor space, rather than just working in it. But comfort is just the beginning. With raised beds, you get to create the perfect soil environment from scratch. No more struggling with the heavy clay or stubborn sand that came with your plot. You simply fill them with high-quality topsoil, compost, and the necessary amendments. Plants thrive in this customised soil, leading to noticeably richer yields. There's yet another significant benefit. The soil in raised beds warms up much faster in spring. This means you can start planting earlier than your neighbours and be the first to enjoy fresh radishes or greens. What's more, these elevated beds offer superior drainage. Plant roots will never suffer from waterlogging after heavy rains. And of course, there's the aesthetic appeal. Neat, clearly defined beds instantly transform any garden into a well-maintained and stylish landscape feature. You can construct them from almost anything, from wood, corrugated metal, stone, brick, or even prefabricated plastic modules. The choice depends entirely on your taste and budget. In essence, a raised bed is your personal gardening paradise in miniature. Convenient, productive, and beautiful. The next point directly linked to convenience is the ideal bed width. There's a golden rule here that you absolutely must not break. You should be able to easily reach the middle of the bed from either side without kneeling or stepping onto it. Why is this so critical? Firstly, when you step on the soil, you compact it significantly. Compacted soil is detrimental to plant roots, making it harder for them to breathe, absorb water, and take in nutrients. As a result, plants develop poorly, get sick more often, and yield smaller harvests. This means that every time you reach for a weed and put pressure on the soil, you're unintentionally harming your precious plants. Secondly, it's a matter of your personal comfort and cleanliness. Let's face it, it's far more pleasant to work while standing on a clean path than to balance precariously on the edge of a bed, or get your clothes dirty by stepping directly on the soil. So what's considered the optimal width? Typically, it ranges from 70 to 120 centimetres. To determine your perfect width, simply conduct a small experiment. Stand on a garden path and extend your arm. The distance you can comfortably reach and effortlessly perform tasks, like pulling a weed, represents half of your ideal bed width. If the bed is accessible from 2 sides, simply multiply this distance by 2. However, if it abuts a fence or wall, its width should not exceed the length of your extended arm. It might seem like a minor detail, But it's precisely these kinds of thoughtful choices that transform routine garden maintenance from a tiresome chore into an easy and enjoyable activity. You'll be surprised how much less time and effort you'll spend weeding and harvesting when you don't have to strain or contort yourself. Choosing the correct bed width is a simple yet incredibly effective step towards creating the garden of your dreams. Now that we've covered height and width, let's talk about what truly shapes your garden beds and gives them character. This is the third key to a more convenient garden. Well-designed borders and edgings. Many people think borders are purely decorative, and while neat edgings certainly make your garden look tidier and more beautiful, their functional role is far more significant. Firstly, borders act as a reliable fortress for your beds. They clearly separate the cultivated fertile soil of your beds from the pathways. This means weeds from the paths will find it much harder to invade your vegetables and herbs. Borders become a physical barrier, significantly reducing your weeding time. Secondly, edgings keep your precious soil exactly where it belongs. Without them, every heavy rain or generous watering session would inevitably lead to soil washing away and spilling onto your paths. Along with the soil, vital nutrients, essential for your plants, would be lost. With proper borders, all that fertile soil and every bit of added fertilizer stays right at the roots, just where your plants need it most. The third major benefit is convenience and ease of maintenance. Bed edges reinforced with borders won't crumble if you accidentally bump them with your foot or gardening tools. A sturdy border can even provide a convenient spot to sit and rest for a moment, or a stable place to set down a small basket for weeds or harvested produce. So what can these wonderful edgings be made from? The options are plentiful. The most popular and eco-friendly choice is, of course, wood. Planks, timbers, even rough-cut lumber. Anything can work. The key is to treat the wood with special preservatives to prevent rot from moisture. Another durable option is flat fibre cement board. It won't rot, isn't bothered by moisture, and can last for decades. Metal, brick, natural stone, or pre-made plastic and metal edgings, which are simply dug into the ground, are also commonly used. Properly chosen borders are an investment that pays off many times over. You spend the time and effort once, and then for years you'll enjoy clean pathways, minimal weeding, and a neat, well-maintained garden. All right, we've set up the garden beds themselves, but what about the space in between? The fourth method, often overlooked, involves creating smart pathways. Trust me, what's between your plantings is just as crucial as what's growing in them. Picture a classic garden after a good rain. Mud, puddles, slippery soil that clings to your shoes and gets tracked all over the yard, and eventually right into your home. Not exactly ideal, is it? Then there's the constant battle with weeds stubbornly sprouting up on your pathways, eating up so much time and effort. Smart pathways solve all these problems once and for all. Their main purpose is to ensure clean, convenient access to your garden beds in any weather. You should be able to walk easily to your plants, even after a heavy downpour, without getting your shoes muddy. So, what should these pathways be like? First, they need to be wide enough. The minimum comfortable width is about 50 to 60 centimetres. That's enough for you to walk comfortably. But if you plan to use a wheelbarrow in your garden, make the paths wider, 70 to 80 centimetres, to ensure it passes through easily. Second, you'll need to cover them with something. And here, the possibilities are endless. The simplest and most budget-friendly option is to mulch your pathways. Sawdust, wood chips, mown grass, or even old cardboard are great choices. A good layer of mulch will suppress weeds and absorb any excess moisture. A more durable and permanent solution is a fixed surface. You could fill your paths with gravel, crushed stone, or sand. Or you could lay them with paving stones, bricks, wood slices, or dedicated garden pavers. Yes, these options require an initial investment, but in return you'll gain absolutely clean, dry, and convenient pathways for years to come. Imagine this. You step out into your garden after a rain, and beneath your feet there's dry, clean paving, or pleasant to the touch wood chips. No mud, no constant battle with weeds on your paths. Garden maintenance immediately becomes far more enjoyable. Smart pathways are not a luxury, they are an essential element of comfortable and civilized gardening. Moving on to our fifth secret, one that can free up an enormous amount of your time: smart watering. Hauling heavy watering cans, or constantly wrestling with the long hose that always seems to snap delicate young plants. That's a serious workout for the most dedicated gardeners. But why exhaust yourself when there's a simpler solution? We're talking about automatic or semi-automatic watering systems, and the undisputed king among them is drip irrigation. Perhaps it sounds complicated and expensive, but in reality, it's not. Today, the market is full of ready-made drip irrigation kits that are as easy to assemble yourself as a Lego set. How does it work? Special tubing or drip lines with tiny emitters are laid along your garden beds. Water slowly drips out, drop by drop, directly to the base of each plant. This means no massive puddles, no wasted water, and no dry, crusted soil surface. So what are the main benefits? Firstly, it's an incredible time and effort saver. You simply turn on one faucet and your entire garden waters itself. Add a simple timer and the system will turn on and off automatically according to your schedule. You can even go away for days knowing your plants will be perfectly watered. Secondly, it's a massive water saver. With traditional watering cans or hoses, a large portion of the water evaporates or runs off. A drip system delivers moisture precisely to the roots, cutting water consumption by 50 to 70%. That's good for your wallet and the environment. Thirdly, it's incredibly beneficial for the plants themselves. Leaves stay dry, which significantly reduces the risk of fungal diseases like blight in tomatoes. The soil doesn't compact. Instead, it remains loose and well aerated. What's more, you can even deliver liquid fertilizers through the drip system, ensuring your plants get nutrients directly with their water. Setting up a drip irrigation system is one of the smartest steps you can take towards creating a truly relaxing garden. You invest a little time up front for installation, and then for the entire season, you'll enjoy more free time, healthier plants, and a fantastic harvest. The sixth technique, which experienced gardeners consider nothing short of magical, is mulching. If you haven't tried this method yet, get ready to be amazed at how much simpler your gardening life can become. Mulching is essentially covering the soil around your plants with any suitable material. So what are the benefits? Firstly, and most importantly, mulch is your ultimate weapon against weeds. A thick layer of organic material, about 2 to 4 inches deep, simply smothers weed seeds, preventing them from seeing the light of day. You'll virtually eliminate the need for constant weeding. Just imagine how much time and effort that will save you. Secondly, mulch acts like a protective blanket for your soil. It shields the ground from drying out under the scorching sun, preserving precious moisture. This means you'll need to water your garden beds far less often. At the same time, it protects the soil from overheating during hot spells and from extreme cold on chilly nights, creating optimal conditions for your plant's roots. A third huge advantage is that mulch dramatically improves soil structure. Organic mulch, such as grass clippings, straw, wood chips, or compost, slowly breaks down over time. Earthworms and beneficial microorganisms get to work, transforming it into invaluable humus. Your soil becomes more loamy, fertile, and vibrant year after year, all without you lifting a finger. What's more, mulch keeps your produce clean. Strawberries, zucchini, and cucumbers, resting on a layer of clean straw or grass, always stay pristine, even after a heavy rain. This significantly reduces the risk of rot and improves the overall appearance of your harvest. So what materials can you use for mulching? Practically any organic material. Fresh or dried grass clippings, straw, hay, shredded bark, wood chips, fallen leaves, pine needles, and even old newspapers or cardboard. The key rule is that the layer should be thick enough to block out light. Mulching is a brilliantly simple and completely eco-friendly way to solve several common gardening problems at once. It reduces watering, eliminates weeding, and continuously improves soil fertility. It's a true gift for anyone who wants to get the most out of their garden with the least amount of effort. And this is where it gets really exciting. On their own, each of these tips is great, but the true magic, the real game changer, happens when you bring them all together. Just imagine for a second, you walk up to your perfectly sized raised garden bed. There's no need to bend low to tend to it. The soil stays neatly contained thanks to strong and attractive borders. You're walking on a clean mulched path, not through mud. Your irrigation system kicks in automatically on a timer, and beneath a thick layer of organic mulch, weeds are almost non-existent. This isn't a garden in the traditional sense anymore. It's your personal, convenient, almost autonomous ecosystem that works for you, not the other way around. This is the fundamental shift. We're changing the entire philosophy of gardening, moving from an endless battle to a smart and enjoyable partnership with nature. Making your garden beds convenient isn't about laziness, it's about common sense and respecting your valuable time and health. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on new ideas for your garden. What clever tricks do you use to make your garden beds easier to manage? Or which of our tips are you most excited to try first? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to read your thoughts.